alive at the nighttime. I come alive at the right time. When the sun goes down and the moon go up, I come alive at the nighttime. 100,000 for the right
here
time.
actually today to talk about, well, not really talk about that. My brother asked me to make a fantasy team. If I was going to pick the players I want, not to break the bank, what players I would pick and what my fantasy team looked like. Well, I thought about it a little bit, and it just, I couldn't do it. You know, so I just decided that I'm going to go with the players I like to be on my team without even keeping in mind the cap space, the era of the game, and all that. So I'm just going to pick the players that I like and put them on my team, and that's going to be my fantasy team. You know, that's the players I would love to see to play together on my team, which never will happen, as I'm going to mention my players. You would notice that would never happen, but it would have been really cool if they were all playing in the same era and they were all on the same team, you know. So with that said, let's start out with my point guard. My starting point guard for my fantasy team, it's gonna be Mark Jackson. You know, I love his style of, you know, play. Old school, hard-nosed point guard, a good shooter. So that would be my starting point guard. For my shooting guard, I would pick my favorite player of all time, Michael Jordan. I would use him as shooting guard on my team. Many of you might disagree, but that is my favorite all-time player. And I would have loved to see him to play on the Knicks, but on my fantasy team, my fantasy Knicks team, he would be my shooting guard. You know, a great player, great legacy. What can you say about him? You know, big time shot maker, big time player. You know, in my opinion, nobody is close to him. Not even LeBron, not Kobe. Nobody is on his level. So that would be my shooting guard. For my small forward, I would be using Carmelo Anthony. You know, matching him up with Jordan. You know, that's just like a dream that, you know, you can put him on probably on a video game. You know, but in real life, you know that's not gonna happen. You know, Jordan is retired and Melo is playing in a different era. But just imagine having them two playing together with Mark Jackson as a point guard. And guess what? My power forward would be one of the all-time great Knicks, one of the all-time, you know, great players, Patrick Ewing. That would be my my power forward. So now imagine, you got Mark Jackson, you got MJ, you got the Melo. Now you add Patrick Ewing to the mix. This is just getting great. You know, just talking about it is getting exciting. And then after that, for my center, you wouldn't think I would say this. You know, is not a traditional center to use, but I pick for my team the starting center would be Yao Ming. You know, 7 foot 6 inches tall. You know, good shooter, good post up move. You know, I like Yao Ming. You know, low profile, very friendly player. So that would, you know, complete my starting five. So I'm gonna go through it again with you: Mark Jackson, MJ, Melo, Patrick Ewing, Yao Ming. That would be my starting five. Now, for the bench, I'm going to use Tim Hardaway Sr. as my backup point guard. We all know Tim Hardaway Sr. Every Knicks fan should know him. He killed the Knicks every single time he played. Not a great shooter, but penetrates like hell. You know, so I love the way he plays. Hard-nosed player. So that would be a great backup for Mark Jackson. For shooting guard, I'm using Clyde Drexel. Clyde played for Portland Blazers, a great player, great shooter. So that he would come off the bench for me as a shooting guard to replace Martin Jordan. Number 3, Grant Hill. I mean, there were lots of small forwards I could pick from, but I just like the style of his game. His passion for the game. So his shooting abilities. So Grant Hill would come off the bench to replace Carmelo Anthony for me. For my number 4, the 4 position, which is power forward, I am using David Robinson. I mean, come on, we all know David Robinson, his days with Spurs, great player, very passionate, very good post-up player. So it's a great, for me, it would be a great, replacement for Patrick Ewing. And finally, for my center, to replace Yao Ming would be Vlade Divac. Come on, bloody Vlad, bloody Divac. I remember his days with Sacramento and the rivalry with the Lakers and all that. That was great. I mean, passionate player, hard nosed man. You're ready to fight all the time. That would be my replacement for Yao Ming. Not as tall, but still very effective. So, this it wouldn't ever happen under any kind of salary cap, but it's something that I would have loved to see these players come together and play. You can't put them together unless you have a Xbox or a PlayStation, and you can build your own team. That's the only way you can put these players together. But with that said, I like to hear from you guys. I like to hear from everybody out there to see what would you pick as your fantasy team. Put whoever you wanted together. Point guard, shooting guard, whatever. Start from the 80s up to now. Whatever your favorite players are, pick them, put them together, mix them, match them. Your starting 5 and 5 on the bench. So let us know. Let us know. We like to hear from you. I hope you like this session of the Knicks Couch Report. Like I said, watch the video, like it, subscribe, and leave your comments. And hopefully you will leave us with your favorite team or favorite players. And we would like to hear that. We would like to read your comments about our videos. And Knicks fans, stay strong. We look forward to a great season, and we'll talk to you on our next video.
Inside the waist, made back with the quiet drinks. Rose getting high grades, take you up to a higher place. Vampires in outer space.